A tiny short story about Swedish forestry. This area has been clear cut 2 or 3 summers ago. Don't remember exactly. You see in some parts, like right in there's a lot of regrowth. There's willow, there's rowan, alder, birch, a few spruces and pines of course as well. Those were the trees that were logged. Here it's a bit more barren, but even here there's quite a lot of regrowth, natural regrowth from the seed bank. A little rowan, a birch, another birch, lots of berry bushes recovering as well. So given a few years this would grow back. There's no replanting necessary to get trees growing here again. So it's not been logged so often that the topsoil is completely gone. As you can see, there is some organic matter left here. That is organic matter. This here is mostly mineral soil. Because it's all exposed by these big machines, much of that organic matter will erode away, will blow away, will wash away. It will oxidize when under the influence of sun and weather. And here we have what it's all about, of course, young pines. They're planted with roughly 2-meter intervals. Yeah, on average I would say that is right. Sometimes it's a lot less, sometimes a bit more. And the way it's apparently done here is by digging a big hole, thus exposing of course the subsoil, putting it all in a little heap, put the tree in there, another hole, another heap with the tree in there, another hole, tree, and so on and so forth. So this whole area is full of holes and little heaps, and all that digging contributes to loss of topsoil, exposure of subsoil, a complete ruining of whatever root system and mycelium system existed beforehand underground, a complete disruption and destruction of the hydrology of the area. So under sunlight, as we experience at the moment, water will evaporate far faster from this soil than the soil in the forest over there, even though that is not proper forest. It is of course plantation. Almost all so-called forest in Sweden is, but at least the perennial cover there and keeps the soil covered and protected from extremes in weather, not just the extreme events, but also the extremes during the day. So the warmest, the coldest, the wettest, and the driest. Here, that is pretty disastrous. Even Jack is crying because of it. Or is it because he wants to walk on? But another, I think, fairly horrible part of this, although less important than the hydrology and the loss of biodiversity and topsoil and so on and so forth, is that clearly this land is not meant to be walked in anymore and enjoyed by such people who still enjoy plantations. And here in Sweden, I guess, a plethora of berry bushes and mushrooms do make it enjoyable to walk in forests, but not when it's like this. Those holes won't go away. As the trees grow, they will be in their little hills and the holes will still be there, and walking there will be quite impossible. Another issue with all that regrowth, the natural regrowth from seed bank, is that presumably those overwhelmingly broadleaf trees will get in the way of the pines. It used to be so that, I hope you can still hear me, it used to be so that these broadleaves were sprayed, or that the area was sprayed as a whole with a pesticide or a herbicide which targets only broadleaf trees but leaves the pines and the spruces intact. I'm not sure if that still happens, or if anyone actually goes in, or a team of people goes in and whacks the broadleaves and takes them out. But this natural regrowth, a functional, biodiverse, functionally diverse community of trees, as far as you can be diverse in this northerly climate, is going to be taken away to favor a monoculture on very much depleted soils. It is a horror. It is an absolute shame, this way of using, or rather abusing and destroying land and natural communities. Shame.